2018 to 2019, it's been an incredible 12 months. This time last year, we had the China sword cast an irreversible yet positive trajectory across the industry. It was a disturbance. And as I said at the time, it was the most positive opportunity an industry could have. Because sometimes the status quo just keeps things comfortable. And we just roll along and say, well, that's just good enough because it's kind of acceptable. And we'll just keep doing that because no one's complaining. But nature operates through disturbance. Rain events, extreme droughts, everything is a disturbance. Look at how disturbing this last 12 months has been from an environmental point of view. Impacts are not all immediately positive. There's been ripples and ramifications. There was shock, there was anger, there was frustration when people heard about what was going on within elements of our industry. People wanted answers. Loyal, dedicated individuals that were going about their business, doing their recycling, thinking they were doing the right thing. And then there was a whole manner of reports and exposés that were leaving a few questions. I felt it on the front line. I was asked these questions every day, everywhere I went around the country. But things like war on waste. War on waste elevated all of our work to a consciousness level that may have taken us as industry and us as an environment, as environmental educators, that may have taken us 5, 6, perhaps 10 years to raise that community attention. There's been lots and lots of initiatives going on that I've seen around the country, brought on through the war on waste, through the China sword, through this change, this shift, this massive disturbance. I think about some of the projects that I've seen. Share waste, Good for the Hood, Food Scrap Friday, Can-Do Communities that you'll hear about a little later. These were all about building community traction and conversation. And it wasn't conversation between people within. It was conversation between people without. People across the board were talking about what we as delegates, what we as industry, what we as passionate individuals activate on a daily basis. But the thing is, it's one thing to be activated, it's another thing for change to take place. This change does not happen overnight. Whilst it can be stirred, and it was stirred, and it built a level of awareness, but to then turn that traction into reality takes effort and it takes time. New approaches and new infrastructure do not happen overnight. And that's where our role is critical. And that's why when I talk about you as 600 people, when I talk to you about your role, I think we have to, in that role, keep building confidence. People's confidence was sapped with all of the things that were going on. We have to keep feeding this community inclusiveness and this opportunity for individual power to get involved. Because when we have that individual support, then we put pressure up. And that's what's going on. But what the individuals down below haven't been necessarily seeing, and what's been turbulent over the last 12 months, is what's going on from top down. And we have one of the most powerful structures when it comes to our future, local councils, 90 of you here today doing amazing work. And I don't think, when I think about 23 years of this conference, collectively, this would have to be, I believe, the most important conference out of those 23 years, because we are at a crossroad. And we have this opportunity to bring about these changes, but we need that inclusiveness. We need to bring people with us. We need the community on board. And when we have the community on board, we need them on board from the start. So as I saw, things popping up in the media, I saw in Tasmania, they just opened a new facility down there. But what we don't want is to shock people that they're just sitting there and they see it pop up in the news, oh, this new facility opened. No, the opportunity is to stretch that out and say, we're doing this. This is where we're at. There's the foundation. There's the first shovel poured. There's the concrete. There's the steel frames. Tell the story. Because when we tell the story, we gather the tribe. And when we gather the tribe, then they are going to invest. I know that in Launceston, when they started their FOGO, they couldn't afford to buy the bins. So they said to the people, you pay $75, you own the bin forever, and we'll come and collect it for you. They started with 0% contamination because of the buy-in. And that's what we want. In Bega, they did a massive education program and came out with a very, very minuscule level of contamination. My point is not focusing on the contamination, it's focusing on the collection. We got to collect everyone with us. We got to collect the school kids. We got to build education facilities. Mid-North Coast wants to build an education facility. That momentum gets built by us talking about it and putting pressure on our representatives to bring it down from the top while we build from the bottom up and escalate the drip down and the trickle up. It's a wonderful, wonderful time. Education is the driver. It's the tribe builder, the data building current that grows exponentially. Now, our next speaker turns individual raindrops into currents of momentum through creative education and engagement. And that's really where I want to finish, because it's all about the education.